Hello, welcome to today's live. Welcome to this side of the live. If this is your first time being on my live, my name is Shefi. I am an identity coach and a nervous system research specialist. Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year to you all. So as you've seen, today we are talking about why you start strong but you get disengaged on the third day. Okay, now you started this year strong, but something already feels familiar. You're already telling yourself, oh my goodness, this year is looking like last year, or the year before, or the year before. It's looking like 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, up till, even way up. Now you might be asking yourself, why is it that I start strong but disengage on the third day? And you might even be asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Now, you're questioning your journey and you're questioning yourself and asking, what is it that is wrong with you, right? Nothing is wrong with you. Let me just say that. Let me say this clearly before we get in. Nothing is wrong with you, but something is happening that you are not aware of. And this is what I am going to talk about today. So, if you already feel like this year is looking like a year that you've lived in the past, you want to sit well because there are one or two things that you need to learn in order to have the year that you've planned for yourself on a paper. The goals that you've set on a paper, you can reach them only if you do this one thing. Welcome to today's live, and my name is Shefi. I am an identity coach and a nervous system research specialist. Let me say this: insanity is doing things the old way, the same way, but insanity is doing things the old way, the same way, but hoping to get a different result. This is what most people don't know. A lot of people, before the year starts, they plan, they set goals on a paper, but they don't have the identity, they don't have the nervous system that is needed that will help them to fulfill the goal. Do you know this? Only 8% of people can fully execute their goal. The other 92%, they don't because they do not have the nervous system that they need to follow through. They don't have the nervous system that they need to have their goal being fully executed. So today's live, I'm going to share with you why is it that you start strong, really strong, but on the third day you disengage. Now, thank you for being here. So, what are some of the things that, and what is even leading me to have this live today is the reason why most people start strong, but they quit or they stop on the way. There are three signals, actually, more than five signals, but I'm going to share five signals with you today that will lead you to be aware of your environment, aware of your inner talk, aware of the things that are happening around you, so that you do not keep sabotaging on your dream, so that you do not keep sabotaging on the things that you've set for yourself. Before self sabotage shows up, before self sabotage shows up as quitting, it shows up as signals. That's what most people don't know. A lot of people are not aware of those things. Before we can see self sabotage showing up as quitting, it comes in as signals. Now, what are these signals? The first signal is when we plan without God. Starting things and setting goals without God automatically set us up for failure. When God is removed from the process, when God is taken away from your goals that you've set for yourself, performance becomes your regulation. Now, when you find yourself in this place of continuously performing, you can only perform this far. But when you rely on God, then you'll have the wisdom that is needed to move through as water through your goals. That's very important. A lot of people, most people, will set their goals without inviting God into that goal. That's the first signal. When you set your goals without inviting God in it, that's already a signal that will lead you to self sabotage. Signal number two, right? Which is you start strong, but you disengage. The reason why a lot of people start strong, but at the end they disengage, they don't show any interest, it's not that they grew from the goal that they have set, it's not that they have already exhausted the list, but it's just that we are in a place because they have trained. Their nervous system is set in a way where it gets rushed or happy or joyful when something new is about to start. Dopamine just spikes at the beginning of every single thing. Whenever we set goals, dopamine spikes at the beginning of everything. Number two, your identity contain that doesn't understand the language of consistency, right? So your identity container to hold consistency is not there yet. Let me talk about this. That is why a lot of people they go for motivation, because motivation is just like a sugar rush that shows up and does not hold. Sugar rush doesn't stay long, it doesn't last long. It only stays for, like, let's say a few minutes, and then it crush. That's what it is. The same way, when we are starting over, we are planning, there is this rush of energy that comes in. But because the identity that is needed to sustain that rush, to sustain that motivation, to sustain that dopamine is not there, then it doesn't hold the consistency. And the third thing is, your system crush once excitement fades. The system crush once the excitement fade. Now, I'm talking about the 5 reasons why, or the 5 signals that lead to self-sabotage. When it comes to self-sabotage, before we self-sabotage or it present itself as quitting, these are some of the signals that shows up. You plan without God. Number two, you start really, really strong, but you disengage. Now, within that number two, these are some of the things. Dopamine, because when you plan, there is this dopamine that spikes in, that kicks in at the beginning of everything that we start. So it comes with hope. Now, within that, because you do not have the identity to sustain it, the identity container to hold consistency, it is not there yet. Number three, same in why you start strong but disengage, is yes, your system crashes once the excitement fades. That's why some people can go as far as just 3 days, and on the third day, life kicks in, they drop the ball. Excitement is not commitment, identity is. So when you're going for, when you are planning your goal, ask yourself this: do I have the identity that I need to sustain my goal? Or does your nervous system, is it built in a way where it can sustain the goal? A lot of people, put their goals on hold or self-sabotage because there is this self-trust that is broken. That's why you need to work on your self-trust. Number three of the signals is you compare your journey with somebody else's journey. You see these fingers, they are not the same. It's different length, right? All the fingers, they have different things and they have different length. Once you start comparing your journey with somebody else's journey, that means that you are walking in the shoes of that person, and that will set you up for failure. And most people, because the goal that is set does not apply to their identity, they keep crushing. This is what usually happens. This is one of the signals that most people get stuck at, because we constantly comparing ourselves. Now, when you're comparing yourself, for instance, you maybe, let's say that you just start a social media page, and you're constantly checking or comparing your page to somebody else. You're not comparing to learn, but you're comparing, oh my goodness, I just post this video and nobody's watching it. Nobody's even paying attention to it. So these are some of the things that are very important. What are the signals? The first one is you plan without God. The second one, you plan or you start really strong but you disengage. The third one is you compare your journey to somebody else's journey. And then number four is you reinvent the wheel. The Bible says that there is nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. So when you're about to start, research to see the people that have already done it, how successful they are in it, and the steps that they take. So that's why, for instance, I have created this community of women who are ready to stop self sabotage at the nervous system level in order to create a self trust, build the identity they need for consistency. So, as you are setting your goals, you have a goal that you want to reach. Research the people that have already done it. How did they do it? So that you can learn from it. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. Many people want to reinvent the wheel. But when you have wisdom, right, wisdom will lead you and teach you to connect to the right people. That's why number one of the signal is very important to pay attention to. And this number one is planning without God. When you plan with God, it is God that is going to connect you to the right people. It is God that is even going to lead you to the things that you need to pay attention to. As you're planning, do not forget number one. Now, what is number four? That's what we just talked about. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. There is nothing new under the sun. Okay, as you're reinventing the wheel, meaning that you want to change the method, you want to start a new rhythm, you want to start, creating things anew. Our nervous system um, doesn't stick to starting over. The nervous system learns through repetition, not reinvention. Can I say that again? The nervous system learns through repetition, not reinvention. If you're this person that you keep reinventing the wheels, the message that you're telling the nervous system is I start and never follow through. I start and never follow through. That is why when you're about to start something new, the nervous system already has set itself ready to tell you, okay, this can only last for 3 days. So this is the moment to create a self trust by finding people that have already walked the journey, connect with them, and then learn from them. And this will lead me to signal number five. Signal number five is what? Rushing the process. You are rushing the process because most people, they don't want to learn. The process is the most beautiful thing that a lot of people need to do, but not everybody is able to be patient on themselves in order to learn through the process, right? And this also shows it's a proof that your nervous system needs a regulation. A dysregulated nervous system always will lead you to be in a performance mode without identity, will lead you to be in a performance mode without allowing and enjoying the process. So the process is what is very important. Take your time to enjoy the process. You want the result to be so quick. We are now that we also have AI, we have ChatGPT. It's also leading to the fact that people are not paying attention to the process. We want results to be fast, we want results to be quick. By doing this, we forget that it's also affecting our prefrontal cortex. That part of the brain that helps to make decision, to analyze, is being dimmed. So enjoy the process. Enjoying the process. If you're this person, you feel like you rush through things, this is the moment to pay attention to your nervous system. It could be that the nervous system is dysregulated. That's when it comes to not enjoying the process. You rush through the process. You want the result to be fast. It's okay. God can compress time. You can go through things in a fast way. But at the same time, the goal is not to get a result. The goal is to grow through the process. That's the main goal. We can easily make money, but the personality, the identity that you need to sustain that money, the identity you need to maintain that money, that identity has to be there. That's what is the most important thing. Okay, so cheating on outcomes and not growing, or chasing outcomes rather, and not growing through the process, that's the other thing that will set you up for to self-sabotage. Now, what to do before self-sabotage hits? What do you do now that you are aware of the signals that happen that leads to self-sabotaging? What can you do before self-sabotage happen? And this is what I'm going to share with you. The first thing is you create awareness. The things that I just shared with you, or the signals that I just spoke about, it's not just to name them out, but it's a way to be aware when you are about to quit on yourself, when you're about to quit on your goals, when you're about to quit on your dreams. Okay, so how do you do that? By being grounded and present in your body, creating awareness while you're moving through the day. Be present and know what you're doing in that moment. So that's the first thing. Create awareness. You cannot regulate, okay? You cannot regulate what you do not recognize. Once you are aware of these things, then you have the power to regulate them. But if you're not aware of it, if you do not recognize it, you will not be able to regulate it. So this is why you need to ask yourself, for instance, what am I consuming? By asking this gentle question, you're creating a break or a pause in your system. Most people, this is what most people do, by the way. Most people would chase motivation or self-discipline. That's why you're gonna hear a lot of people say, I need to be self-disciplined, right? I need to be self-confident. But this is the thing, the self that you're talking about is the identity. Before the self, or before the confidence can stay, you see what I'm doing here? So this is the self. Okay, you hear people say, I need self-confidence, I need self-esteem, I need self-discipline, self. But what is here is the self is not strong enough. So when the other word is attached to the self, because the self is the container, and it's, there is hole in the self, it will leak through it. So what you need to do here is you work on that part of you. You work on the identity at the nervous system level. You don't start by working on the adjective, but you start by working on the person, the identity, the healed, the regulated nervous system. By being aware, creating awareness will help you to identify the signals that are being sent to your nervous system. So the first one is you create your awareness by asking yourself throughout the day, what am I consuming? That's an invitation to wait, to stop, to see before you do. Number two is, what am I reacting to? What am I reacting to? Number three is, what emotion is being fed right now? Okay, so these things, they are leading you to be aware of the things that are happening around you and in you. Number two, when it comes to what to do in order to in order to identify the signal, the first one is what? Creating awareness. Number two is return to process, not performance. Come back to process, not performance. The process is where identity is built. Okay, the process is where identity is built. You show up, sometimes just show up imperfect. You are not ready, but still show up. As you keep showing up, you're learning. That's the whole goal. As you're learning, there are some things that you will do, there are some things that you decide not to do, because you've learned through the process, you have grown through the process. Show up imperfect, stay present and grounded. Let consistency train your system. These are some of the things that are going to help you. Now, number three, do not do this alone. Remember, in the signal, I talk about people want to reinvent the wheel, right? Do not do this alone. Find a tribe that will lead you to the result that you want to reach. This is why I have created this identity group, or stop self-sabotage group, where the people that are there, they are just tired of sabotaging on their dream, and they are ready to stop self-sabotage at the nervous system level. okay, in regulating their nervous system. So find a tribe that will help you to reach the goal that you want to reach. This is very important. This is very important. And most people, they always focus on motivation, they always focus on discipline. But once the identity is not there, you will not be able to get the result that you need. That is why only 8% of people can reach their goal, execute their goal. Meanwhile, the other 92% of the people cannot. They mostly quit on themselves because they are overthinking, they are overanalyzing, they are sabotaging because the identity that is needed is not there. Confidence is built through action. As you keep doing, is built through action. Your self-esteem is restored through presence. Yeah, the confidence that we want to do is when we do, is built through action, and the self-esteem is restored by being present. Okay, and this is very important. Like right now, we are teaching the nervous system to be consistent. And that's the message that the nervous system is learning. That's the message that the nervous system, that is what is rewiring and regulating the nervous system. And that is not a message of, okay, I'm ready to quit. Once you sit with the process, you grow through the process, it's a message of peace and a message that the nervous system is really used to and ready to start little by little through the process to regulate itself. So there are some of the things that you can do to regulate your nervous system. One of them is by just being present. You could be right now sitting and watching the live. If you have something in your hand, just squeeze to bring awareness back into your body. These are some of the things that you can do in a gentle way. In a gentle way, pay attention to the feelings that are coming out of your body in that moment. It's very important. Is very important. So if you want to see a real change in 90 days, okay, you want to see a real change, I would like to invite you to this community of women that are already seeing a result in their daily activity just because they want to stop self-sabotage at the nervous system level. These are some women that's in the group. We have people that are about to publish their first book, by the way. These people, they are ready to about to publish their first book, their children book. I'm so excited for them. So these are some of the things that you can achieve once you join the book. These are some people that they've been wanting to read the Bible, but once they join the book, the group, they are able to do so. They've been wanting to read one book a month. Since they've been part of this group, they are already ready to do so. So it's very important. You show up with me for these 90 days. You set the 90 days aside, and you'll be so amazed of some of the things that you can do by yourself in a group. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about, and this is what I'm here to share with you. I hope you took some things from it. Before you quit, before you say no to that dream in 2026, find people that are there to support you. This is Coach Sheffy, known as the Motivational Force, but today I'm not motivating you. I'm just sharing with you how you can stop self-sabotage at the nervous system level. Do not wait. 2026 is yours once you decide and tell yourself you matter and you move in the right direction. I'll see you tomorrow for our next live. Have a wonderful day.